G'day guys, thanks for checking in to another episode of Jack's Mechanics. Today we're just going to be showing you how to do a radiator on a 2008, 2009 Mitsubishi Pajero NT model. It's the 3.8 litre V6 petrol engine. So first step, 10mm on the air duct, and then 12mm here, 12mm here, and then we can take the radiator support brackets out. So we'll do that. So now we've got that off, the air duct just pulls out. We can disconnect this hose from the overflow, and then down the bottom here, we'll just have to zoom out and then have this little tag. You just want to pull this tag and then basically pop the top part. You can see the top of the fan comes out. There's one on each side, one down here, same thing. You can see you can push it out like that and then pop it out. This one's a bit more difficult on this side. There we go. So while we're still in the engine bay, I'll just take out the two fan shroud bolts. There should be two more at the bottom as well. And I'm just going to leave the hose connected, and I'll drain it out the bottom so that doesn't drip on our head. But now you can see we have access to the fan, and once the fan shroud is undone at the bottom, we can move this back and we'll be able to pull the radiator up. So you can see the radiator along the bottom here. This hose right here goes up the side and is attached to a tap on the bottom tank. You can unscrew that and then drain the coolant out that way. Takes it a little bit longer, but at least you don't get covered. This is an automatic, so we have our two trans cooler lines, so we'll need to take that off as well. And then our bottom hose clamp is just in the side here, so we'll get all that undone. So we've still got some of the water draining out there. Got the hose off and it's just leaking out. Don't worry about it too much, it's only going to leak, not even half a litre, actually way less. So the hose, you can see I've got the clamp off right there, and I've already twisted it to crack the seal, so we should be able to get it off easy from the top now. It doesn't actually have any bolts to the lower part of the fan shroud, which is nice from Mitsubishi, so thank you for that. We'll go back up the top. So now we're here. Take out these. We've still got to take out these bolts here. We can just twist the hose off down the bottom and pull that off. Spring clamp here. Twist it, push it off, push the fan shroud back, and be able to pull the radiator up. So anytime you see these sort of hairline cracks, this is a plastic tank, it's going hot, cold, hundreds and hundreds of times. This is basically a sign of deterioration. You can see on the spout of the radiator, I can actually flex that a little bit. That's the reason this thing is getting changed. I would not put a new hose on that thing, you're just asking for trouble. You can see on the side of the tank is obviously what it's meant to look like, and anytime you see that greeny browny tinge to your radiator, it's not far away from letting go, so change it before you cause yourself any more damage. We've got the fan shroud out, so we can just push that back, and you can see down the bottom there we have got nice clearance to get the radiator up, so we'll lift that radiator out now. So we've got the radiator out, and obviously at this point in time we changed the radiator clamps, the hose clamps. Usually when you untension these spring clamps, they're pretty much buggered when they're this old. They're still the factory clamps, so yeah, we definitely will be changing them to the little worm drive ones, so that way we can put our own tension on it. Some people like them, some people don't. It's just workshop policy here, so yeah, take your time to get that off. Got the one off the top, and then the one for the transcooler underneath, not a big deal, we can do that afterwards once the radiator's back in. So got our brand new radiator here. We just need to check that the transcooler nut pipe nuts are tight and make sure they haven't come loose at all. Check your tap and put your rubber mounting feet on. It's exactly the same radiator. Make sure your spouts are in the same spot, and also where the fan mounts on as well. So you can go ahead and drop that in now. So I just had to take the tap out to get it past the fan shroud. So I'll just screw that back in, but you just got to make sure that your rubber feet are located in its mounting position. Then we can go on and put our transcooler hoses on. I'm working on the floor now, so we don't have it on a hoist anymore, unfortunately. So I've just put my top clamp on, put the fan shroud piece in there. That's as easy as putting the center part in and then locating the tag and just slotting it in. Same on that side down there. Lower hose is on. Obviously the clamp's not done up. I'm actually sick of laying on the floor already, so I'm going to drive it on the hoist now. I'll put the transcooler lines on the bottom. We need to change the clamps over, so they're literally just pushed on at the moment. I'll put the brackets on as well, so it's acceptable to drive. So I got our hose clamps on. We'll give that a bit of a clean up. Hose clamp there. We just reuse the spring clamps on the transcooler lines because they're not high pressure like radiators, usually getting up to above 15 psi, between 15 and 20. And then our hose clamp, so we can focus on there, on the bottom hose there, it's all done up. If you use that style, it's like generally an 8mm socket on the outside. So radiator's all in now, secured nice and tight. Next step, we need to take out these bleeder screws. One on both hose outlet. See that it's pretty brown in there because of the coolant, but yeah, on both outlets we'll need to take both of these out. So I've got this fancy bucket which basically goes on the radiator and you can fill it up with coolant, and that way it gives the coolant the highest point above the engine, which is basically what these bleeder screws are for. To obviously we have air rising when we put water and air together, so you can see here on both we have coolant coming out. I'm just going to let that come out because it's a bit of a mission to do this by yourself and record, and I'll just wash it down afterwards. As long as you wash it down off, you know, within a couple of minutes, you're not going to have any damage or noise on your dry belt, so don't stress too much. Just wash it down with some water. We can put our screws back in, and at that point we can start the car. So I've just taken it for a drive. An important thing to note is on some cars you'll need the heater basically turned all the way to full. Not the case in this car. This has a constant flow heater, so the only thing that stops the heat coming out is flaps inside the dash. But in some cars the thing that stops the heat coming out is the heater tap, which will sit in the engine bay. So to open that tap and allow the coolant to flow through and bleed the air out of the system, we need to turn the heater on. If you're not sure if your car has a heater tap or not, just turn the heater on anyway. You know, sometimes I even like to do that in cars that have constant flow heaters, just to be, you know, 100%. Honestly, it doesn't make any difference, but it's just me being a bit anal about some things. So yeah, all good on that one, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you got anything out of it, please consider giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot. So just a bit of bonus content. This is what a heater tap looks like. This is off a Holden or a Chevy or a Vauxhall, all the same name, but this is off the Statesman model WH. So you can see that you would have coolant flowing through, has another inlet or outlet. Not exactly 100% sure which way this thing flows, which way's in, which ways are out on all four of them, but you can imagine the position that it's in now. The tap in here is closed, so there's no flow through at all. Two of these are probably just a bypass for warming up the engine a bit quicker. But when you apply the heater and turn that dial, it applies some vacuum to the diaphragm on the bottom here, which slowly starts opening it, or if you want full heater operation, pulls it all the way down and opens the tap on the inside there. See if I can... Bit hard to see exactly what's happening, but yeah, that's a heater tap for you. So that's why we need to turn the heater on, to allow flow of coolant through here and through the heater core, where a constant flow heater gets rid of this altogether. It flows through the heater core constantly, and it just uses vents inside to direct flow on the heater core or on the evaporator, depending if you want hot or cold air. So thanks guys.